Hey, what's up, guys? So, I was finally able to put in a solid run, and I do have all the scourges on. And so, what we'll do is we'll just go in and take a look at the way I was able to get some better scores and improve on the system that I was running. And there's still a lot of room for improvement. So, especially on three nodes in particular, they can be improved greatly on those scores. So, I'll take time this week more so for the research and study, because at this point I have to really learn from some others. But 7 of those nodes I think are pretty solid, and those 3 can still get you a good score. It's just that I was trying to get solidly into the top 100, and so what I'm doing there on those 3 nodes are going to be costly and won't allow me to do that. But let's get started. So this is the edited version, guys, and it'll just show, I'm not going to show all the failed attempts where I reset. We're just going to go through and just look at the ones where there was success. And so I'll explain it as I go, but I like to stun that first Moon Knight closest to us with Nightcrawler, and then the second with Old Man Logan on his special. It may not make a difference, but it seems to have something to do with the pattern and how things go. Then we want a special here and get a ping on that minion in the back, because he can revive, and usually what happens if I'm able to kill him for some reason and he doesn't revive, then I have a good run. This special here is just to do nothing but get damage, so we can help get them cleared out and hopefully get Deathpool to go in and start pinging them so we can clear the floor a little bit. And it doesn't matter if she clears it a whole lot. Old Man Logan goes. Now he needs to be a raider, and you want to make sure your Old Man Logan is a striker and your Odin is a raider. You want to go ahead and hit that Nobu. For some reason he can revive, but it's been the pattern that he won't revive as much, but he usually doesn't revive if I hit him first, and he can't evade. And so you can see the damage done there by Odin. And so this is going really fast. It looks like we don't have enough charges on our death pool, but we will get them. So you got to make sure you ping there or you'll miss it. And basically now you're trying to save Nightcrawler's ult for another node, so don't use it. And you want to save Old Man Logan's ult for another node, so don't use it. And you want to save Deathpool's ult after you get this 4th charge. You want to save that for another node. Now you still do have time, so I like to target Blade as much as I can in the beginning, because him and Oath are the tankiest, but you target him first. You go in with Old Man Logan special on Blade. That's the preferable choice. And then after that, you're going to want to hit the Oath. If you can, you want to hit her with your special here from Vol. And that way you have 1 stunned and 1 block. Now Vol is tanky, so after you get that last ping in, you want to put it in on Vol, or not Vol, on Oath, and then you want to start chipping away at her as much as you can. Because what you're hoping for is to get 1 more ult from Odin, and sometimes you can get that. So if you can't get it, then you want to reset, but if you get it, it should allow you to be able to end it somewhat like this here. And this score was slightly better than what I had hoped for, because I was planning for a 280, and so because they fell over the way they did, a 280, a 296 has been my best, so I got a 312, so that was really good. And I think you can recreate it. You just have to make sure you have those ISOs the same way that I would have them on this one, and you'll get in more damage. Now, I think placement does matter on this, because I've tried it a few times. So you want to make sure you have Iron Man in the middle, and I like Hank behind Captain Britain. And you got to make sure Shuri is getting energy from Iron Man too, because anytime Iron Man specials, they're going to give energy. So what we're doing here is we're leading in on leader. We want to take the charges from with Shuri, her special, and then we're going in here with Hank special, and then we're going to go in with Captain Britain's ult. And once you do that, you want to switch targets. Now I don't know if it's making a big difference or not, but this is something that we kind of discovered going into it. And when you put the ult on, you put it on the Abomination. Then you want to shift back to the Lizard and special. And now you're going to kind of go all in on the Lizard a little bit. Now you do want to get these hits, because what's going to happen is you're going to see that Shuri's charges are going to go up. So she was at 1, now she's at 2, and the more she gets hit, it's going to go up more and more, because you do have the immunity on there from your team, and I believe you might have safeguard too, because it's got the Crucible rules. So they're pretty safe during these attacks here. And then when you get a chance, you want to ult right into Lizard. And so what that does is it helps you to kill off the leader pretty quickly, and the Lizard as well. And then you can start to changing up what you want to do here depending on how you want to hit it. I like to make sure I hit some of those Cravens in the back, and that way I can start putting damage on them. The Abomination is no more, he's not really a threat anymore, but you do want to get him out of there as quick as possible. You're going to be able to control the Red Hulk, so he's not a threat for Red Hulk. What you want to keep in mind is you want to get the Doc Ock out of there. So you're going to try to stun or block the Red Hulk, whichever way it comes first to you. And then you want to do the same to Doc Ock. But the key thing is you want him to be out of there before your Green Goblin drops. Now, you don't have to worry so much about the Craven, but I do like to chip away a little bit at the Namor, just so that he can die pretty easily when it comes time to getting out another massive attack. And so now you see your Green Goblin is dropped. Now when he drops, you really want to focus in on him. In this particular run, I still had a lot of health on the Red Hulk, so I was moving a little bit faster than I thought I'd be able to. So you may need to get a hit in on him. You may not, depending on how your team is retaliating, because they are doing a lot of splash damage. So I decided to target the Red Hulk to make sure I get him down. And that seemed to be enough, because after they get their assists in, then all I really need to do is I want to shift back to the Green Goblin and put the special on there. And my thought is, once I start doing some of these attacks, they're going to fall over. Now, you do need to make sure you save that Shuri ult, because you're going to need it later. So you save that, and you just chip away so that you can make sure you're keeping control over this node. I don't think you need to really save anything, because other than the Shuri ult, because you'll be in good shape coming back. You have Iron Man, he's feeding him energy. And you can see how well this went because of the splash damage and the grouping. So just keep that in mind, that as long as you're hitting it hard and you save the Shuri ult near the end for the next time you're going around into the next set of nodes, then you should be fine. And so here, I used to use Orcus, and I think Orcus is getting a decent score, and that's how I made the top 100 the first time around. And Joker pointed out that what you want to do is you actually want to use Cabal. And I got to give him a big thanks to that, because my score has been incredibly higher on these nodes because of Cabal. And so that using LDS in that manner allows that next wave to drop, so you can really get a good hit in with your Cabal. Now, I'm sure there's other tunes you can use, but what I think you want to do is make sure you get that wave to drop so you can get those pings if you're using Agatha. And I think that helps a lot on this first go-round. Now, there's a question mark for you, because you might want to use Agatha again on the next node if you want to use her ult here, or if you want to use on the next node. Because I had so much of a wave here, I wanted to use it here, and I hope for the pings. And so had I set up this next attack more strategically, instead of hitting in the middle right there, I should have hit the Iron Man, and perhaps then I could have hit in the middle. So that's something I'll keep in mind next time, because that would have probably shaved off a turn for me. And then this score would just be better doing the exact same thing that I was doing. And that's something you can do to get a better score, 1 or 2 turns better than this score. So just keep that in mind, because there's a good chance it will play out the same way. My tunes are maxed out, so you got to keep that in mind, that you're going to have similar sized tunes to make that happen. But depending on what levels you're on, I think, and what difficulty you're doing, I think you can get similar results. And so here, I think the key thing to do for me is, because I had messed up on some of my cooldowns, and I had to change up from using LDS, because the LDS, the way I used her, went so fast, I had to revamp and use Blade. Now, Blade gives you a lot more control, but the way I was doing it before, I was used to LDS giving me more damage so that I could get the score I was looking for. But it went very smoothly, so you can use Blade on this node, and I was already using Blade on the second node. Now, you want to follow that sequence as close as possible, I think, where you hit that Sentinel in the middle with Blade, and then you follow up with the Vol ult. I like to stun the pack where you're going to get the most chain from your Thanos. And so that could be left, that could be right, depending on how they drop. Just keep that in mind. It just so happened that the right had less this time. And so then you want to stun the right with your gladiator. Now, I don't stun Oath. I stun that bot on the other side because he will go. And then the last bot I need to take care of that's really low is the one that's standing near Oath. So what I want to do now is, just because everybody's kind of stunned, I got control. And what I'm waiting on, instead of hitting Oath to not get any retaliates, is I want to use my Vol's special or her special here, so I can put an ability block on her. Now, I targeted her with Thanos, and so I don't know if it mattered because I did have him a striker. So I targeted her, and then I want to get the block here. And so I think that gives you a lot of control over them. Now, once she's on the ground, then you're pretty safe. So I move over to that middle bot because he can just snap out of it and start summoning. And so I hit him right up the middle with Blade Special. Now he's gone. Now, Omega Red and Sabretooth, they aren't great threats, but you do want to make sure you get them out of the game. They're not a priority target. Right now, what we're doing is we're just chipping away at the Oath. And then we're going to move over to the bots when the Nimrods drop, because we want to be strategic with getting them out of there. We don't want to have any chance of them snapping out of it and starting to do some summons. So you can see the one behind Oath is ready to go. And I elect to wait with the stun because I know the Nimrods are going to drop and I want to make sure I have them. So I just hope that the damage will be enough to get them out of there. It was. And so now it's about which Nimrod do I stun. I figured the one closest to the Oath, the Omega Sentinel, and so maybe I could kill her. I did. And then it's like, well, let's get the other bot out because we do have a little time before the Nimrods go. Now this move here is just to put a slow on them, but we do want to stun him. We want ability to block him because that's the second one, and so he's closer now to his turn in that sense because the other one took the Nightcrawler stun. So we have both of them stunned. We get Sabretooth out, and right here is just really more about damage, but I do want to put the block on the Nimrod because, like I said, the Omega Red, he's not a huge threat as far as damage, so don't spend a lot of time trying to get them out of there. And I do a lot of basics from here on out because, like, well, let's just get your cooldowns back. Both Nimrods are stunned, and as long as they're stunned, then it's like you got a lot of control, and so you want to start prepping for the next go around. Now, if they snap out of it and they have a decent amount of health left, then you might want to go ahead and stun again as soon as you can because they can wipe your team out right here near the end of the node. So I'm not sure what happened here, guys, but the score counts backwards, and a lot of you guys know how to do this math pretty well, so you'll be able to figure out what the score is. So I froze the screen so you can work with the numbers. What I like to do here, and I got this from Nemesis, and he said go in with your Mercs and the Iron Man Zombie, and what you want to do is you just be patient until the Titania hits Old Man Logan. What I found is if he hits her first, she hits him first, then it goes much better. And the main thing you want to have is your Old Man Logan is a Skarm, so you can clear both those taunts of the Absorbing Man. Now your Weaver is prepped. She's got 5 yellow. You want to make sure she had her 3 turns. She's got 3 turns. You can go right in and kill the Weaver, or I meant the Death Pool can kill the Weaver. And then for some reason, the Kestrel doesn't hit as hard as when the Weaver is dead. So your team should live, but you do want to get her out of there because I don't want her to special. That's why I went in over there with the docking. And now the key thing here is I like to use Old Man Logan's special here. And the idea is you can kill this trio, But if you don't, at least they're lined up to die. And so when this wave drops, the only thing you have to do is, I do like to put the Zim special here. You just have to stay conscious to get rid of that absorber man that's pretty far over, because it's kind of like on an island. But what I like to do is just go in and spray it. So now you see that middle pack, they all have negative buffs on them. And actually spread all the way over to the absorber man. So we're going to start with absorber man, and this is the last time we're going to use old man Logan's ult, because we do want to get it back for the next node. And so he can go in and he can put in a lot of damage on this team. And so, or on our, on this node. And so now we're going to just focus in the middle, Panda Pool, and then we're going to do the same with docking. And the hope is that you clear them out and you're able to get in there on the last two tunes here, Kang and Ultron. And so I'm going to hit Kang with the ult from Zim. And ideally, if I can get Old Man Logan's claws back out, I'm going to hit into that Kang. If he's low, then I'll hit into the Ultron. But you want to make sure you get this. This is a chance to get them both killed. Now in this case, I was really ahead, so all I did was hit him with the basic. I saved it, and I was able to go in and get assists, and I was able to kill him. So this went a lot faster than it normally does, and I'm sure you can recreate it. But if you get hung there a little bit, just use Old Man Logan's special, and you're gonna save his ult, and in that way you can be ready to go. Now, this particular node, really both of these nodes, the Annihilator nodes, have given me problems. And so I've worked this system over and over again. It's not perfected. You can get a 200 on a regular basis. That's not great. I've gotten 232s, 240s. My best score was, I think it was a 252, 256, whatever that score is, that's next. And I've not been able to do better than that. Now, there are guys doing better than that, so if you can find a way to improve on this score by following what they do there, I would definitely encourage that. If they're not doing much better, then you can just do it this way. But this sequence is pretty easy to follow. And I think the main thing here is if you can kill his Panda Pool, then you want to keep it. If you don't kill him there, or if he doesn't happen to fall over before, when he's about to take his turn, then you're going to let it go. Now, even if that Sasquatch taunts, which would be a good thing because I got a little damage on him with stealth, you want to focus back your energies on that Panda Pool in the back. And so it's a little hard to kill. So you definitely want to use the ult here from Gladiator. And then you want to go in and what I like to do is I like to use this ult from Gore. And so, because what it'll do, it'll make sure if Wolverine is still alive, he's gone. And then you can see it puts a little bit more damage in on those Sasquatches because they're a problem. Now, what you can do is you could stun him. I like to take a chance and do the basic. I was able to get him out and just in time because the death pool dropped. Now, I don't know how guys are getting a better score, but in this particular case, the charges are not on North Star, so this is a perfect time to stun him. And if you can recreate this and there's no charges on him, then your team won't take that heavy hit. So I stun him there, and it's like now it's an absolute must to go all in on Old Man Logan. Now you want to be careful that you don't trigger him and set him up to start going on you. So you want to do some basics. Depending on the basic, you don't want to basic too soon where you're going to put a block on him. And then you could do certain specials. Now that special was timely because my Gladiator is above 50% health, and he might have been under, Old Man Logan might have been under 50% health. Those two things are pretty key. And so this sequence went pretty well for me, but I'm not able to finish strong. And so I end up using a lot of turns here, and I've got to find a way to not do that, because these 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 turns, if that could be narrowed down somehow, then my score could be a lot better. And it could be something that I need to do beforehand to get it there. And that's what I'll be looking to do, so that I will give it another go next weekend, and perhaps these sections will be much improved. And so now we're back to our Cabal team. Only this time we're going with Apocalypse, and I save him on purpose. Now, some people were like, hey, you can just use him on the first go around. But you want to make sure if you do, you just save his O for here, because this is a chance for you to get a really high score. And you can get higher than even what I got if you really try to, you get the pings down. But I think if you just follow the sequence here, you'll be fine. The main thing is you want all the pings to wipe out everybody so you can go right in and you can clear the board. Now, I elected to go after the Voodoo, can't remember his name now. And because I don't have Namor's ult, I go right up the middle. And so what you're hoping for is the pings. And perhaps if I had the ult from Agatha, then I would have gotten an even better score. But then at the same time, the other score would have been lower. So I look to make that score from the first node to perfect it, because I think I can shave off a couple turns there. So you got to kind of look at these two, because it's the same two teams. They're sharing the scores. And so if this score is a little lower, then try to make the other score a little higher. And so this score turned out really high, but like I said, it could have been slightly better. I'm not too worried about that. I'm worried about the first node. Now, once again, I'm going in with Blade. I think the key thing here is you must have the Nightcrawler's ult prepped again, or you get stuck. And you want to have Vol's ult ready. And so that's what we did. We prepared that, and we have everything saved. And so you go right in with Blade, his ult once again on the Bishop. So you need that so that you can be ready. And if you can, you want to ult here, but if you can, as soon as you can, what I like to do is stun the Dazzler. Now, it missed, and I was like, okay, maybe I need to restart, because it doesn't usually do that. But it's like, I'm going to go ahead and stun her. And so since I can do that, she's not going to hurt my team, because she puts in a lot of damage with her opening move. And so as soon as I can, I go after Gambit next. And so here's my chance to hit Gambit. And that's why it's important to have all of their cooldowns prepped, because if that score is slightly low on the first node, you have a chance to make it up here. And I was able to do that to a degree. But I think had I just went ahead and just played it out, I probably could have got a little bit better. So I'll see about that next time if I can do that, because I have to keep in mind the health of my tunes. And we're looking at Thanos, where he's at as well, and Vol's health as well. So I'm able to get in here, and I think you're going to just have to kind of look at how the drops go as far as your targeting at this point. But these tunes aren't a real threat. It's just that they can put in some damage and you don't want your Thanos in trouble at this point. And so you're just trying to protect him. So you don't want anybody to go off and get a big hit in right near the end, and then your Thanos is like messed up. That's in case you're going to need him. And so what I'm looking at overall is just trying to spread the damage. And I'm trying to look at like who could go and who can I chip down. And you can be right, you can be wrong. And so when you start seeing that pattern, then you might have to reset, because then you'll know who's going to go next. And you can finish as strong as you can on this node. So on this node here, it's Undying and Old Man Logan for me. And that's because I have Scarlet Zombie Witch, and I do have a 4 red, 5 yellow. I think if you have her, you can get it done. But yeah, I don't know. And so you may need to go in with the Mercs or some combination of. But in this strategy, this is why I have Old Man Logan's ult up, because the special Cloak will dodge it. And so the ult, he doesn't. And so you just want to play it enough times reset so that Cloak dies. Now, in that particular case, he did not dodge the zombie Juggernaut. And I don't know if he dodges here. But he's going to bleed out. He didn't. We get the assist. And so then he bleeds out. So that's really important, because then you don't take a blind. And it just helps with a turn or two, because if you're trying to go for efficiency, then that's important. So you just reset. You can get it. It didn't take long. I think I reset it 3 or 4. This might have been the 4th time. And then this way you can be pretty strategic on how you want to hit the tunes that's left. The key that I'm looking at is the Cosmo, because Cosmo can heal them up. But I do want to stun the Nova And then I want to make sure Cosmo doesn't, heal him up. So it's like, okay, well, let's just get Cosmo out of there. And then when the next wave drops, you have enough of them with bleeds on them that you can use a Scarlet Witch's oat. And that's why I use the claws out from Old Man Logan, because I knew I had that coming up. Now, the key is, for me, is you want to take care of that Gwen. You want to make sure you have her stunned. In that Infinity War, what is it? Got his name. But the one on the left, I think he goes first. So I try to hit him because he can blind you. And then the other Star-Lord, where's he, Star-Lord? Infinity War Star-Lord? He's a little bit slower, but he can blind you. But the one on the left is a little bit more of a problem. So I just take care of him. And you don't want to forget about the Firestar in the back. So you do want to make sure you hit her at some point so she doesn't sneak up on you. Now I'm taunted there, but you see how many bleeds are out there. So this is a pretty good run. I had lost track of the count, but I said, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and keep it because it looks like I'm doing pretty well. The thing that really determines it at the end is if you can go in and kill the Moon Dragon, but what you want to be conscious of is when she drops and when to start zeroing in on her. And so right now is when you have to start making yourself aware of where she's going to be, because they usually place her where you're not paying attention. So you're looking over here, and there are some tunes you want to take care of because you don't want to sneak up on you. So you get your hits over there, especially on this Thor. You get the Gwen out, and then you got to start. Well, actually, I didn't even hit Thor. You want to start looking at the Moon Dragon, and you're just hitting her to chip her down because all you can do is chip her down. You do want to hit her. Let's move back over. Okay, you do want to hit her as soon as you can because you want to chip her down. So I think I hit that Thor just so I could stun him. But I got right back over to the Moon Dragon. And so you can see I'm getting her down. And the reason is because if you can kill her before she goes, all she's going to do is heal up your Adam. That's why I don't bother hitting Adam. It's incidental if I do, because I can kill the Moon Dragon. And then, so now Adam, he might heal a little bit because of his own self-heal, but it's really not enough for you to be worried about. And so that way, when he does hit you and he revives, it doesn't take that long to kill him. So you can get it done this way. I think if you can prep your death pool, that's fine. But I was perfectly fine doing it like this. Now, when I saw the score, I was like, this could be improved on. And so there's some things to think about on how I can do that. With this system, because I've done slightly better than this score, but like I said, I lost count, so I was thinking, well, let's just keep going, and I think it's a pretty good score. But I probably should have replayed it and done the count just to make sure. But I'll do that next weekend, so you guys can see if this plays out better, or if I've had to switch to a different version for this node to see if that will work better. So now we're at the end, and I'm going to go with Illuminati, the one shot. I think the first time when I did it, I wasn't sure there could be a one shot, and so I went in with the Annihilators first, and then I finished off with Illuminati because I figured that might be the system, how they set it up that way. But it's not. So you can just go with Illuminati and you can get it done. Now, this is another tip I got from Joker. It's just like go in with the ult right there on that Thor in the back. We want to get her out of there. She can be a problem. So what I do is I reset it until that opening move kills her. Of course, with the assist. Now, I played around with this a lot, so I don't remember which way I did it to get the best score. So we're going to just let it play, and I just want you guys to see how it goes. Because you may be able to do it this way, or you may have to create a different way depending on the power of your tunes. And so let's just let this play out. But I think the key thing is when Odin drops, no matter whether you have one tune or two, well, I will say here, you want to start going in on the ball because we want to get it out of there. And then you want to make sure that you control the Beta Ray Bill and the best you can, because you don't want him to take a turn or you're going to have to reset. But aside from that, I think you can control the node pretty easily. And no matter who's left, if there's 1, 2, or even 3 tunes left when Old Man Logan drops, just go ahead and go, because most likely splash damage from the assists or ults will take those tunes out. So I just wanted to say thanks for watching, guys. And I am going to start streaming on Twitch. I'm going to start doing my Crucible battles there. I don't know if I'll do them this week. So if you can, please come out and follow me there. And if this video has helped you in any way, please like, share, and subscribe.